Can 200,000 naira get you a good gaming phone? The short answer is no. If you are serious about gaming, you will naturally look at phones like Poco X7 Pro, Poco F7, Galaxy A56, Infinix GT30 Pro, Xiaomi 15T. And the problem is these phones are not budget friendly. This is the reality for most people. You really want something, you see how good these phones are, but your budget just can't reach them. I've been in that exact position. Back then, I loved playing games and I needed a good performing smartphone, but I was working with a very limited budget. Instead of chasing a phone I couldn't afford, I adopted a different approach. I have an interesting story and some amazing recommendation in this video. You don't want to miss any of them. Now, this is what I used to do. And honestly, it is not a good thing. It might sound smart, but it wasn't normal at all. But whenever I had a low budget and I needed a gaming phone, I focused only on performance. I was ready to sacrifice almost everything else. Camera, I didn't care. Build quality, I didn't care. Even the material used, glass, plastic, it didn't matter to me. The phone could be made of wood, all I care, as long as it had a strong processor. I couldn't probably ignore the screen, so I'm going to explain that part later. I also needed a good battery, so my priority were always simple. Good processor, large storage, and a good battery life. Everything else came second. Because of that mindset, I started buying Samsung phones or phones with issues. I know it sounds crazy. Phones with a small dent, a tiny crack, or even line on the screen. But I knew that line on the display wouldn't affect my gaming experience. I also bought phones with terrible cameras, phones where the fingerprint sensor doesn't work, and even where the front-facing camera was faulty. All I needed was performance that could still deliver. That strategy allowed me to get high-end smartphone at almost half of the original price. Once the line appears on your Samsung screen, the resale value drops heavily. And those were exactly the kind of phones that I went for. As I'm saying this, deep down, you already know that you've done something like this before, or you are at least considering it. So it is not a normal thing. At first, it looks smart. It feels reasonable. It is just a phone, right? But from my experience, I had very terrible outcome with this approach. There was a time I bought a phone. It was a Chinese brand called EV. You might not recognize that name. The phone had a good processor, a solid battery life, but the screen was already cracked. So that is why I got it for a very cheap price. At first, it felt fine. I was playing Call of Duty Mobile and FIFA Mobile. And for that period, it actually gave me one of the best gaming experience. That phone was the one that really gave me, for the first time, a good gaming experience. Then one day while I was playing, the screen started showing lines, and before I knew it, the line spread across the entire display. Just like that, the phone became almost useless. This is the real risk with buying phones like this. The screen can completely fail at any moment. And once that happens, the resale is impossible. If you buy this phone, just know that you are likely going to be the last bus stop because nobody else will want it. Nobody else will want to buy it from you because not everyone shares the same mindset as you. It is only when you are ready to sell your phone, that is when you truly understand the lesson. The camera matters, the build quality matters. The overall condition really matters in a phone. So that is when everything you ignore at the beginning suddenly become important. Back then, it was extremely hard to find a budget phone with a good processor. And there was nobody like me to share some real life tips, like someone that really, really understand. But things have changed. You have me, and we really have solid options within 200,000 naira. No, they are not going to be at the same level with the Poco X7 Pro or the Infinix GT30 Pro. But they can still give you a good gaming experience, not flagship level performance, but enough to make you feel like your money was well spent. And you need to take some certain measures to enjoy smooth gameplay throughout the phone's lifespan. I will get into that later. So let's talk about some real options. First, Redmi 15. This is a surprisingly budget gaming smartphone here. It checks almost all the important boxes. Large display checked, 120Hz refresh rate checked, 6,000 milliamp power battery checked, Snapdragon 685 processor. Games like Call of Duty Mobile, the performance is actually very good. I'm mentioning Call of Duty especially because this is the game I play and Snapdragon processor are well optimized for it. The same goes for eFootball and other popular titles. You will enjoy the experience. And the best part is that the Redmi 15 is under 200,000 naira. That makes it even a strong budget option. Next is the Poco M7. Aside from the design, which honestly looks better, Almost everything else is similar to the Redmi 15C. It uses the same Snapdragon processor. It goes a little bit further with a 7,000 milliamp hour battery, which is excellent for long gaming session. So yes, Poco M7 is another solid choice in this price range. Then we have the itel RS4. This one came out last year, but it was clearly designed with gaming in mind. It comes with the cooling system, MediaTek Helio G99 processor. Even from the design, you can tell it's a gaming-focused phone. And then in real use, it actually delivers. So what are the measures that you need to take to enjoy smooth gameplay on these phones? First, RAM and storage matters a lot. Always go for at least 6 or 8 gigabytes RAM and choose a minimum of 128 gigabytes of internal storage. That alone makes a huge difference in long-term performance. Next, manage your storage properly. Make sure you always have free storage space available. Then avoid installing unnecessary apps. You don't overload your phone. So the lighter your system, the smoother your gameplay will run. Another very important thing is heat control. Budget phones can handle heat as flagship phones, so you need to help them. You like play near a fan, or better still, you can use an external cooling system while gaming. Keeping your phone cool helps maintain stable performance and prevent trolling. I actually have a dedicated video where I explain in detail how you can enjoy gaming on budget phones. So I will leave the link in the description, so you're sure to check it out after watching this video. There is one phone that I used heavily, and when I say heavily, I really used the hell out of this phone. Gaming on this phone genuinely feels like playing on high-end smartphones. It is an old Samsung Note device, and let me be very clear, I can only recommend this phone if you are buying it strictly for gaming. The camera is still manageable, but the real strength of this phone is its processor and the battery. It's an old Samsung phone, as I've said, and if you can guess it, I'm talking about the Galaxy Note 9. Right now, this phone is around 200,000 naira. And when it comes to gaming, this phone is still very impressive. I know what I'm saying because I personally played a lot of game on this phone. Let me be honest about the downside. This phone is outdated. There is no software update. There is no security patches. In fact, the reason why I stopped using mine was because it started misbehaving, like doing things on its own. At one point, the phone even wiped itself, and I strongly believe that it happened because the device is no longer supported security-wise. That said, for pure gaming, the Galaxy Note 9 still delivers the large screen, beautiful screen. It is a 60Hz display, but during gameplay, you likely won't notice. It also runs Snapdragon 845, which is still one of the best processors Qualcomm has ever made. If your goal is only gaming and you understand the risks of using older, unsupported device, then the Galaxy Note 9 can still be a solid option within 200,000. So apart from the Galaxy Note 9, there are other two smartphones worth talking about. And there is something I recently noticed. Phones are getting cheaper every day, and it's a big advantage for budget shoppers. If you look at the Galaxy S20 FE and the Galaxy S21 FE, you will see just how good things have become. Personally, I prefer the Galaxy S20 FE over the S21 FE, but both of these phones are excellent for gaming. The S20 FE is standout for me. It runs the Snapdragon 865, which is still considered one of the best Snapdragon processor ever made. It has a large battery, 120Hz refresh rate, and the performance is more than enough for serious gaming. And now it is available under $200. With that budget, you are going to get 8 gigabyte RAM version of this phone, the one that has 128 gigabytes of internal storage with 5G support and dual SIM card slot. For anyone who is truly serious about gaming, then you can consider checking out the S20 FE. S21 FE is simply more recent model. It supports newer Android version compared to the S20 FE. Even though neither of these phones is getting major Android updates anymore, both phones are still receiving security patches, which make them more safer to use than older Galaxy models like the Note 9. Overall, S20 FE and the 21 FE are fantastic choices right now, and they clearly show how much value budget buyers can get in today's market. So if you have any question, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Or if you are using any of these phones, you can tell us your experience in the comment section below. Then we catch you in the next one.